All right. Good morning, everybody. This is the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show for a Tuesday morning, right? Yeah. God bless America. It's 2 years, Tuesday. I'm Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find us on social media. I am at Barrett Gruber. This is Bill Kimmler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. Follow him at Political Bill SC. We're here recording on a Tuesday morning because
Because it's not Wednesday. I mean,
yeah.
there's no other reason. It's Tuesday.
Wednesday is sleep-in day, right? That's what it comes out to. Let me just see. Columbia thinks we're the best. Do you vote for the All About Nothing podcast and best local podcast? Head to theallaboutnothing.com or check the show notes for the link. Quickly register and there you go. So, good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good morning, Barrett. Did you miss me on Thursday? Did you miss me?
I did.
Good.
Did you watch?
I was not able to watch. No.
Oh, okay.
It was a long night, so I did not catch it.
You didn't listen afterwards? You didn't?
Nope.
Oh, so that was why the numbers were down. No. We did. I did give everyone an update. I had a couple people that commented that asked how your wife was doing.
Oh, good. Did I tell you what we did and why she was there? And I went through the whole background. I don't remember if I told you.
Yeah. And the fact that there was a doctor that was like, I can fix this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so heart surgery was great. I'll tell you one thing about it that I don't know that I shared. I couldn't have because this is after the surgery. So this is the first time talking to you since.
Yeah.
So she had to have a pacemaker repair. It was over 10 years old. What she had one installed when she was in her 30s. Needed some repair. Specialist was up in Charlotte. So the doctor comes in. We're in the waiting room. She's prepped. She's got the little head cap on. She's got the gown on. She's ready to go. The surgeon runs in and starts explaining what he was going to do. And very confident, he went over all of the possible complications that could result. He was very honest, forthright, but said it was very routine. 1 in 100 chance of anything going wrong. Then he starts sketching something on the board, like there's a dry erase board there. And it looked like it was her ovaries that he was drawing, and he was sketching things out. And I was like, well, you're the doctor. Maybe you know where the body parts are better than I do. But they did everything up through the arteries in the groin, and then that's where they do the surgery from. Like they didn't crack open the chest. They didn't go down that way. The pacemaker itself sits outside of the rib cage. Okay. So it's right there below the skin. So, they did have to go in there and replace the battery and some other stuff. But the actual heart part is all up through the groin area. So they insert, on both sides of her legs, inserted, this long wire tools, lasers, whatever it is. And they did it remotely. It was wild.
That's crazy.
So this doctor goes through all the explanation of what he wants to do and what he's going to do. And so then he departs. Well, about 5-10 minutes later, another surgeon comes running in. And this is a completely different team of heart surgeons. So this is different than the pacemaker specialty surgeon. This is the open heart surgeon who's on standby in case anything goes wrong. So if the first surgeon's in there and they're removing the lead from the heart muscle and they're scraping away any scar tissue that may have formed around the pacemaker lead or cuts tissue or something goes wrong, they only have minutes. So then this other crew would be scrubbed, ready to go, come in, crack the rib cage open and get to heart repair like it was, bypass surgery or something like that. And so he met with us and said, listen, I have never been needed before. I don't plan on being needed today. But me and my team are there fully scrubbed, ready to go, should anything go wrong. You talk about a boost in confidence. I mean, you're dealing with some scary stuff. But when you have $1 billion worth of surgeons and medical expertise on standby for you, it was appreciated. So glad to say the surgery went well, recovery went well, just spent one night in the hospital and then discharged. And she's getting stronger every day. She's not laid up. She's walking around. She's doing this and that. We have a follow-up appointment tomorrow.
Okay.
And all should be good. She should have a new lease on that ticker for another 10, 20 years.
There you go. All right. Well, I will just say thank you to government endowments that provide research that allow for the education of doctors and surgeons and things like that eventually lead to successful procedures like this.
Exactly.
We had a great episode, and I will say great. I am proud of it. Episode with Carrie Tharp yesterday, co-general manager of the Darlington Country Club. I really quickly want to thank Tom, Mary, and Tiffany of BroadStreet.net, as well as Carrie Tharp and the owners, Tim and Nancy Henley of the Darlington Country Club, for having me out there to record that episode.
Did you get a free membership out of the deal?
I didn't get a free membership. Got an offer of free visits. So I don't know if that's the same. If I walk in and people are like, "Hey, Barrett's here," I feel like I'm a member, right?
Okay, that's no, you're not a member. No.
Oh, okay, Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast episode came out last week. Trey Ward was fantastic.
He is really neat guy.
The story of his and I'm gonna probably put this out of context, but the disgust of seeing the placard on that monument, and the fact that he was just like, I'm gonna take it down, and and then leaving it with the
museum.
AFW, the museum, just leaving the placard. Incredible story, incredible guy.
So just a quick context, here in Greenwood, South Carolina, we had a war monument for World War I and II veterans where the names of fallen soldiers from the area were inscribed, segregated.
Yep.
So they literally had a whole bunch of names, and then below it, it said colored, and then the African-American soldiers who gave their lives in the two world wars. And anytime a politician or national news would come through the area, there would always be this side story. Welcome to Greenwood, home of the segregated war monument.
Yeah.
And it was just an embarrassment. And so our guest took it upon himself, along with the support of the mayor at the time and a couple of other individuals, to raise funds for a new desegregated plaque. And then he actually did the job middle of the night to go and remove the plates kind of in middle, without anybody knowing it. Secretly, it got sued. There was a lawsuit on it after the fact. It was a whole thing. So we encourage you to listen to that show. He was a great guest.
Very entertaining. Also,
by the way, former chair of the Republican Party in Greenwood. That's who our guest was. He was a Republican operative who has evolved over time, or I should say maybe the party evolved away from him. So very interesting views.
I won't put any words into his mouth and how he expressed his disdain for the way that the migration that the Republican Party has taken over the few years, but he is the Republican. Well, the way he described himself is the type of Republicans I grew up with, not the ones that I see now, not the ones that are flying through my TikTok comments right now. As well, bluegrass singer, the Trey Ward Band, and
yes,
I did add the song Greenwood Mill to my playlist.
Hey, another 1/1,000,000th of a penny going to his coffers. Well done.
I will just say this: I'm not a huge bluegrass fan, but I'm always in awe of the talent of bluegrass players. Banjo pickers and just the guitarists and the harmonizing. I mean, as a fan of music, I really do enjoy that. So it was really cool to see. Also, Welcome to Wonderland interview with Preach Jacobs that came out last week. And Politically Speaking did a breakdown of the South Carolina Democratic Party 2025 convention, which was entertaining.
If they are listening to this in any fashion, I was not able to go to the convention this year. First time in many years, I was not able to go because of my daughter's wedding. But their recap of it was compelling. It was riveting. And at the end, they quickly ran through all the topics they didn't get to. And I'm like, shit, that's the good stuff. So they better do a part 2 of the convention recap, because they left so much on the table and they need to cover it. They can't leave it unspoken.
Yeah. In fact, I've got to get with Erica and Emily and Kirsten to see when they're going to record part 2, because there is obviously, I want to hear more about it. There was, at the end of the episode, they discussed having a special guest, a secret special guest that they would not tell me. And I made a guess. And they all made a face. So I don't know if I guessed correctly or but they're going to have a guest coming up on a future episode that
It's
was
Nancy Mace, right? That would be the face making guess.
Nancy Mace is probably one of those people that could probably pull off some sort of an almost incognito appearance at the South Carolina Democratic Party that they would run into and be like, "Hey, do you want to come on a podcast?"
Oh,
I,
she
I,
is very distinctive. She could not walk through that crowd without being noticed.
I would encourage Nancy Mace to come on my podcast. I absolutely would. In fact, I would do everything I could to try and have an engaging conversation where she just gets more and more riled up. I want her to call me every name she learned in church.
More and more, that would only take 5 seconds with her. She
I
has
know.
the
I know.
shortest fuse from normal to crazy that anybody has ever had. It will not take much to trigger her.
I would thoroughly
Use trigger
enjoy
words
that.
like hi,
Yeah.
hello, how are you? Those are the things that'll push her right over the edge.
I just yeah. I think Nancy Mace would be
Did
a
you
really
just spot reading glasses? Did you
yeah.
just put on some grandpa glasses there? Look
Yeah.
at you.
Because honestly, I'm having a very difficult time reading.
It's very becoming.
So I wanted to do a couple reviews real quick because I was disappointed over the weekend of several different things. So driving out to Darlington last week to go interview Carrie Tharp and the country club. Um, on the way back, I was hungry and I had to stop and eat. Um, I tried the McDonald's McCrispy strips. Um, and so this is my review. And I have to go down to some pretty distinct fundamentals of crispy chicken strips and things.
When you say your review, did you go on to Google review literally and type
No,
this
no,
up, or
no,
is this
no.
just
I'm this
your?
is this is the All About Nothing podcast
Okay,
review of
gotcha.
the. So the shape, um, long bloated finger-like shape. Of the three, two of them felt identical in shape. So I'm pretty sure that these were form shaped.
Wait a minute, this is the exact same thing my wife's heart surgeon said when he came in and talking about what he was going to do. That was eerily similar. Wow, how did you know?
The texture, they were kind of like bigger nuggets. And honestly, I love I love the McDonald's chicken nuggets. I do. I think McDonald's chicken nuggets are pretty good, but I think that's because they come in such a small the size of them is just enough that you don't notice that it's probably not real chicken. I know they say it's 100% real chicken, but I think that it must go through some sort of a grinding process. Every third chicken nugget is the same shape. I think that I think it's the same thing they talk about when the patties come from the pink slime or whatever. But the texture matches the chicken nuggets. As far as the taste goes, not good. They are not the chicken nuggets. I don't like whatever spices they put on there. No, not good. What they could have done is just made longer chicken nuggets, and it would have been fine. And they didn't. They made these things. Overall, it was disappointing. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10 on the scale there.
Now, do you think it was just that one location, or do you think that review would apply to all McDonald's nationwide and how they process their chicken?
So I have a friend who is a district manager for a franchise of McDonald's, not a franchise. Yeah, I guess a franchise, because you can own a McDonald's. I'm not sure actually how that works. Anyway, it's a district manager for McDonald's. They have a fairly rigorous QC process to make sure that every McDonald's, at least under a district, is the same. Prices are the same, the food quality is the same, everything is the same. But they've got some work to do with these McCrispy finger strips. Just honestly, all they'd have to do is just make the chicken nuggets into a strip, and I think that would be fine. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. The chicken nuggets are good. I don't know. Do you shop at Walmart?
I do.
You do. We have Walmart Plus. Because especially during the pandemic, it was extremely convenient to be able to order. It has saved us money because we don't walk through the Walmart and find things we don't need. We order off of the app, and I either pick it up or it gets delivered. But one of the things I've noticed about our Walmart pickup orders lately and deliveries is that there are substitutions to them that don't make a whole lot of sense. We ordered a dozen and a half eggs one time, and they substituted with 2 dozen and a half eggs. So literally, it was a 1 dozen and a half pack, two 1.5 dozen packs that were, I guess, taped together was what they were going to substitute it with. I have learned that if I just in those substitutions, if I just go into the store, the likelihood is I will find the items that they are trying to substitute for. So like this weekend, my daughters and wife needed some feminine products. I canceled that substitution that they substituted with because they substituted it with a name brand, which was 4 times the cost of what they normally get. Went into the store, walked right up to the aisle, found exactly what we had ordered what we'd put on our order that had been substituted, and I think, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist normally, but I think that they're doing this on purpose. I think that on some items, some of the items that you would normally potentially just go, yeah, well, I need it. So if they're substituting it, then I need it.
I'm curious. When you're sitting down and you're thinking about today's show, and LA is on fire, and the federal government has sent troops in to invade a state and dismiss their sovereignty, and you come out of the gate swinging with chicken nuggets and Walmart orders, I'm impressed.
I am a people pleaser. I was going to keep going until you slammed in there.
I feel like this show has been substituted with something. Okay.
Yeah, I was discussing some of that earlier when I was live on TikTok getting set up, and I am dumbfounded, and not to take away from this, but I am dumbfounded by the number of people that still will watch the news or will watch TikToks or Instagram lives and see exactly what's going on. See, on the ground, not necessarily professional reporting, but actual like live scenes of what they're seeing, and still have this belief that it's all orchestrated, that it's pretend, it's fake, that these are actors that are out there trying to make it look worse than it is. And what I'm trying to say is that there are individuals that will not research why these people are out there protesting. They think that they're just out there because they don't like Donald Trump, and that isn't the case. ICE is legitimately kidnapping people. There is no due process. There is no investigation into anyone. There was a story late last night about a woman, her child, and her mother that were taken into custody and detained by ICE merely because they were speaking Spanish.
Over in New York City, they got a recording of a woman who was kidnapped by ICE, thrown in the back of a car. She was a tourist from Chile. And she was there with her husband and 12-year-old daughter. She was taken off the streets. Daughter's crying her head out. The husband's trying to get to his wife and was being held back by the overwhelming police force that was there for this one woman. The woman was released 8 hours later when they realized they had made the mistake and had just grabbed somebody who was a legit tourist. But that's where this group is. I mean, you hear the battle cry of, well, Democrats are supporting criminals, violent criminals. That's who they're on. But now you can see that ICE, you can see that Trump, you can see that the supporters just view anybody who speaks Spanish and has automatically assumed you are a criminal. We've seen this coloring of an entire people before throughout history. It does not end well for the oppressing group. It's not going to end well here either. You want to make that argument, then what you do is you use the laws that this country was built on. You go through due process. You don't convict somebody just because they're speaking Spanish. And if you make a mistake, man, there better be some big restitution. You get jailed for 8 hours on a nothing charge just because you look the way you look or you speak the way you speak. That is not this country. That's a failed country. That is a failed state. And we've seen that throughout history.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you got me riled up.
no, and rightfully so. We aren't going to see those type of protests in some of these southern states. I don't. Although I could be completely wrong. I did Atlanta. Let me see. I saw a list of where these protests are now breaking out all over the country.
Yeah, there's going to be
Um,
one here on Saturday that I'll be at. So I encourage everybody to use your right to a voice and speak up and speak out. That's how we've dealt with issues like these over the decades in this country, and unfortunately, we have to continue it.
we
Did
have
you see where that lady who was one of the founders of Latinos for Trump,
yeah.
and they did side by side video. Video one was her practically being fondled by Donald Trump at one of his rallies. She's sitting there at the
That is what he
podium
does.
screaming his praise, and he's behind her, rubbing her shoulders and coming in really creepy like. And then another video right alongside of that is her today saying that he has betrayed her, he has betrayed them, that everything they're doing now is what he promised he would not be doing. So they're just getting the full Trump effect right now, and I hope it's not too late to do something about it. But people are starting to realize what they voted for.
Yeah. The situation in Los Angeles, I always want to say I really hope that it doesn't turn into a riot. I hope it doesn't turn into the same sort of situation. But I'll be completely honest with you. How else do you I'm not saying that violence is what needs to happen. If it does, it's only the result of the escalating tensions that are being created by the Trump administration and this continuing to pursue pushing National Guard troops and now 700 Marines into the system.
Yeah, there
Those are
wasn't violence before,
yeah,
but once the National Guard starts launching rubber bullets and smoke gas and tear gas and things like that, people will fight back with whatever tools they have. That is just human nature. That is human history, regardless of what country and ideology you're in. When the oppressive regime, which, by the way, I thought the NRA was all about uh, fighting against, that's why they're arming themselves to the teeth,
right.
because of government interference and government violence. So here we're at it, and the people are pushing back. Then you got freaking a-holes like James Woods, right? You know that guy. He's an ultra right-wing wacko, former actor, and he's out there putting videos of cars on fire, saying, I
Right.
don't want to hear about peaceful protests, when those are videos from
Yeah.
many years ago
Yeah. Not
that he's
they didn't
putting
happen
off as
yesterday.
current. Right.
Yeah. It's insane. And that is and I'm not saying I know having worked in the news media, I know that they will do things to they will do things to try and make their video good enough to continue to have you watching through a commercial break. I get it. But blatantly sharing videos that are from decade ago, 2 decades ago, to try and just ramp up the anger. Okay, the reality is, yes, we do have people in this country who are here illegally, whether that is because there is the process has failed them, as far as the immigration system has failed them. They are on the books to become to have their cases looked at, whatever the case.
Yeah, the majority, Barrett, are those who are here legally,
Right,
following the process.
right.
And then in the last couple of months, the rules have completely changed. I mean, there are people getting arrested and deported when they show up for appointments, as they were
Yep.
told to do.
In
And they
court.
were following the process. They go to court, they go to the office to fill out the paperwork or check in, and now they're treated as if they were murderers or rapists or other terrible criminals. They may have started with that excuse on day one. It quickly evolved to being anybody,
Yep.
anybody. And now it's driving all of them underground, has made the situation so much worse, so much worse.
Yeah, it is a situation that is being completely uh, uh, amplified by the pride of a president who just cannot take any sort of criticism. Looking back at whether it was Biden or Obama or Bush or Clinton before him, or even HW Bush or Reagan, when when they were criticized, I can't go back and see where they had such a temper tantrum of emotions and use that to basically just harm American citizens and now American citizens that voted for them. There are so many stories of people saying, they voted for Trump, but this isn't what they voted for. And I don't have the empathy to be the sympathy to
You
be
hit
able
it
to
right on the
go.
head. There are thousands and tens of thousands of Trump voters who regret their vote. There is zero Kamala Harris voters who go, oh, wow, look, Trump's doing an awesome job. I really should have voted for him. There's zero. All right. This is not a two-way street.
Yeah.
Support he's being left in the dust. Those that are sitting there constantly continuing their support, yeah, we see you. And no amount of evidence is going to change your mind. And then just kind of like the end of World War II, you couldn't find a single Nazi sympathizer in Germany. They were all just innocent victims there.
Right. Yeah.
Every last one of them.
Especially the tens of thousands that we brought over to the United States and basically created our NASA system, our NASA program and things like that. So, but if not for them, where would we be without helium? Like the amount of research and whatnot that just propelled
our
the United
parties,
States
our
forward.
Birthday parties, our gender reveal parties, they would not be what they were today if it weren't for those German scientists. God bless them.
Well, I know that we're going to be able to. We're probably going to talk more about this as we go through the next few weeks, because I think that we have reached the precipice of tolerance when it comes to what it is that the Trump administration is doing. Because I absolutely believe that this is just the beginning. I don't think we're going to see this slow down. I think that we're going to continue to see these protests across the country. I think they're going to gain in numbers. They're going to gain in strength, and I suspect that this is the BLM movement that Donald Trump believed was going on during.
And this chaos only happens when he's president, by the way.
Oh, it only happens.
Only happens. All caused by him. And if you want peace in the streets and if you want quiet throughout the nation, aside from any championship wins, I mean, that's, all bets are off when your team wins the championship. The city goes down in flames. That's supposed to happen. But outside of that, you don't see this type of stuff outside of Trump being president.
Well, and outside of Philadelphia, you don't see championships have
I'm sorry. Shall I pull up pictures of Charlotte? Shall I pull up pictures of Detroit? I mean, come on. This is a thing that happens.
I'll do. You know what? I'll take a step. I'll take a step ahead. I will do what I tell people to do when they tell me to show them the facts. I'll go pull those up. I'm sure you're right though.
Yeah. Sure, I mean, Philadelphia greases polls. That's unique to Philadelphia. So that's unique.
Yeah, you have to grease poles. When people go climbing up onto street lights and lamp poles, you absolutely have to grease the poles. Like,
doesn't matter. You could electrify the poles. You could put barbed wire in the poles. Those bastards are going to climb them poles. That's just what they do.
It's talent. It's talent. I have not. I have not climbed a rope or a pole since, I don't know, my last year in Boy Scouts.
That's a tradition in Philadelphia that goes back to the founding of our country. Those founding fathers climbed the poles. They don't talk about that much, but yeah, they climbed poles to sign declarations of independence.
Could you imagine Ben Franklin?
Yeah, he was the first. How do you think he was measuring those electricity and lightning and shit? He climbed the pole, flew a kite.
Well, on that bombshell, I think we're going to wrap it up. We will pick it back up on Thursday, 2 days after Tuesday.
If you're lucky.
I'm lucky. Big thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you can follow me at Barrett Gruber and Bill at Political Bill SC. You can catch us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 5:30 a.m. Eastern. My final thought is, when it comes to Donald Trump's preference in women, just remember his scale starts at groping an inanimate object like a flag, and then all the way up to Melania. So it's anything in between is game for Donald Trump. Just I wanted to make sure that people understood that we recognized where exactly that there is a scale. Also, he's allegedly in the Epstein files.
Oh, there's no allegedly. That's a fact. It's been seen. He's in it more than Epstein himself is.
That report, what's crazy is that tweet that Elon put out, he took down less than 48 hours later. Like,
to what effect? To what point?
No. He dropped that
taking
grenade.
It down. I mean,
he dropped that grenade, and I know I said we were wrapping it up, but I will just say, I think that what is happening with pushing these troops into Los Angeles, a very blue district in a blue state, or a blue leaning state, I think that this is all designed to be a distraction away from the fact that Elon Musk and he had a severe breakup, and Elon Musk outed him to the world to say that the reason we haven't seen the Epstein files is because Donald Trump is a part of everything that went on. I mean, we already had the video and picture proof that he was with Epstein all the time. He talks about Epstein like he's one of the greatest guys he's ever known in his entire life. That's it.
That's it.
All right. Till next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.